This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFLTV. It's Latino Fight Week, Latino Night on Saturday. We're in the middle of a press conference at the moment. I'm joined by Paul Smith Jr. You all right, mate?
I'm sound, mate, you?
Sound, lad. Sound, lad. Your fighter, ZZ, in action in his 7th fight this week. How do you think he's been progressing, Paul?
Good up until the last fight. He had a little slip up in his last fight.
Thank you, everybody.
He got a draw, but the kid literally turned up with 3 different steroids in his system and failed the drug test. So the California State Athletic Commission overturned it to a win. They said that was the only advantage that could happen to Ziyad, obviously, because the opponents have failed the test. But he needs to use that as a little wake-up call now and get back on track. And he's got a lot of pressure on his shoulders being the Saudi fighter. You can see here again. His last fight was on in Los Angeles. Massive show. His fight before that was Usyk, Fury, Ngannou. He's been on AJ shows. Every show he's on is a big show, and it's it's tough for him with the pressure, but also it's a position of privilege. There's kids that are killed to be on these shows and be getting paid what he's been getting paid as well, because he's got to sort of handle the pressure well, which is tough because he's only a 6-fight novice, and you build that up over time. It takes you a long time to get on shows like this usually as a fighter, unless you're an Olympian or a top amateur, which he definitely wasn't. So he's learning on the job, and it's tough because we've got to build him the right way and let him learn in these fights and match him right. But it's also a double-edged sword because people are going to want to expect results pretty fast, and he's got the weight of a nation on his and the whole kingdom on his shoulders. So he's got to perform, but also he's got to really stay level-headed and keep his eye on the game. So in a long-winded answer, yeah, it's a lot of pressure, and I'm happy with his progression so far, considering he had no amateur career. And he's working really well in the gym with Buddy McGirt, and if you can't get better under him, then you can't get better with anyone, can you?
No, that's a good point to that. But we'll see. It's the 7th fight on Saturday, and then we'll see. Like I said, another big stage. But he's been on big stages before anyway, so that part of it, it's not daunting for him to be on these cards, etc. So we'll see the next phase of his development on Saturday.
Yeah, fingers crossed, as you say. He's been on these shows before, so it's not new to him, but it's still... You're still shitting yourself on shows like this. You're still on the top stage, and he's sitting up there next to 2C3 from Oscar De La Hoya. And for him, growing up without bags or a ring or anything like that, you know what I mean? It's a big deal for him. But obviously, he's got to learn to adapt quick and learn to get by quick, because this is his life now, and he's a pro fighter. He's the main fighter in Saudi, the only pro fighter in Saudi at the moment, I think, or there's another kid coming through. And it's a lot of pressure, but he's got to deal with it in the right way as well. He talks well, he talks really well. And if we can get him to back that up in the ring, fingers crossed, then he'll be doing great.
We shall see on Saturday. Right, how long does Jake Paul versus Tony Bellew last?
Honestly, I think anyone from probably Britain, from the middleweight division up, would flatten Jake Paul in 2 rounds if they've only been retired for less than 10 years. He's picking his mark, obviously. Listen, he's improved a little bit. You can't knock him for what he's doing. I've said this to you before. If I started a channel like yours up and started making the money Jake Paul's making, you'd shake my hand. You'd be against me, but you'd shake my hand eventually and say, well done. Because you're exploiting another industry, he's exploiting the sport, and this is, unfortunately for us, boxing's the easiest fucking sport in the world to exploit, and there's so many people who can infiltrate the game and not earn money out of it. I don't begrudge anyone earning money, but he's fighting against sort of UFC fighters, MMA fighters, retired fighters. Mike Tyson, I love Mike Tyson, literally idolised the fella growing up. He was my hero growing up. I'll never have a bad word said about him. But he wasn't any near himself 20 years ago when he's getting beat by McBride or Danny Williams, and I don't like the fact that he's getting in the ring at this age, but I'm watching him shadow boxing, I'm watching him hitting the bags and the pads, and I'm getting excited, and the hairs are standing up on my arms watching him. I'm shouting me lads and going, lad, look at this, he's still fucking got a little bit of it, and he has and he hasn't. I think Jake Paul's a bit of a lump. I don't think he can punch as hard as everyone makes out. I watch his technique on the pads and it's not that good, obviously, but he's improving, to be fair to him. So I think it's got to be over quick for Tyson if he's going to have a chance in it. 2-minute rounds will help. I just don't want to see Mike Tyson lose. I saw a post on Instagram yesterday. There was a fella sitting there saying we can all disagree on politics, religion, but we all want Mike Tyson to flatten Jake Paul in 1 round. That's about right, isn't it? But it's Mike Tyson, and he's everyone's favourite, I think.
Are you saying it's impossible for Jake Paul to knock Mike Tyson out?
No, far from it. Far from it. I'm worried that Mike Tyson might get knocked out because he's 58 years old, and I don't care how good or tough he was back in the day. He was invincible early on in his career, Tyson. You couldn't nail him with anything. And nowadays, he's a 58-year-old man. If he gets hit on the chin by someone who's as big as Jake Paul, he could well and truly be knocked out quick. I hope it doesn't happen. But let's be positive and think that Tyson's going to win early.
We should see what happens Friday night on Netflix. Did you see Belluno turning up yesterday?
I saw the clip today, yeah. I saw the clip of it today. It's Paddy Power in it.
31 wins.
A few people have said he's gone there. I know he's gone there for Paddy Power. He's gone there to try and angle something. I don't know.
So I keep getting fellas asking me, like builders and all that, would you fight Jake Paul for £5 million, lad? I'd fight anyone for £5 million. I'd fight Fury and Joshua there for £5 million. It's the worst that's going to happen. You're going to lose. I've lost for less than £5 million in the past, you know what I mean? I don't think people grasp the actual level of money and amount of money that they're mentioning, or they just assume that every boxer's making millions when they fight. But listen, it is what it is. If there's ex-boxers out there who want to get involved in that and have them fights, then that's up to them, you know what I mean? But I think it's best when you're retired to probably stay retired personally.
I'd love someone to chuck some money at you, see what you do. Paul Smith, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV, and we'll enjoy the rest of your week here in Riyadh. We'll catch up soon.
Thanks, Joe.